Hello and welcome to Angela's Busy Bees Garden and Homestead. Guys, I've got a lot of things that I need to get done today before I go out of town. And as you can see here, the mustard greens are really growing beautifully. And I will be harvesting from this one. I have some other mustard greens in the home garden that I'm going to pull up because it's going to seed. But I'm thinking that because this one is kind of in a shady area on the balcony, it's closer to the overhang here, that it's getting more shade. So I might be able to get another harvest from it. Although I'm looking at this one right here. Looks like it's about to go to seed. I don't know. I think I'm just going to harvest from this one first and see if anything else will come out of it. I'm also looking at this leaf here, and I can see it's has leaf minor damage, so this is going to be thrown away altogether. But I'm going to harvest from these mustard greens. I'm going to harvest some of this spearmint that's getting really tall, and my lemon tree is putting on flowers. I think I can harvest some of these buncheon onions for green onion. I'll probably harvest some of this peppermint as well. The lantanas are doing beautifully. So are the impatiens. I love that it has a combination of several different colors. And then guys, my strawberries are putting on fruit, but they are turning brown before they can come to maturity. And I am keeping them watered just about every day. I'm watering. So I don't know. This is a weed. I don't know why they're doing that. Here's some red giant celery that was planted recently. Here's a pepper plant here that has really grown. More strawberries here. And these are giving me some nice sized fruit. Over here, the Swiss chard is growing nicely. I'm not going to harvest just yet. It's still just a little small. Plus, I have some larger ones in the home garden. I can take some more of the green onion from here. And that petunia, guys, back there, it is just bursting with color. More flowers. Geraniums there in the back. Petunias here. And this pepper plant here has just exploded. Okay, I'm seeing a little, uh, little buds here and there. Come on, pepper. And this is my herb tiered planter. And I'm going to harvest some of this parsley. I'm going to harvest some of the basil off of it. And here's another parsley plant that's going to seed. I'm going to harvest not these leaves, but I'm going to harvest from the lower leaves like this, because I am absolutely out of parsley altogether in the kitchen. More flowers here in the corner. Petunias in red. My lilies over there in the back are budding and getting ready to put on their flowers. I threw some zinnias in this container. More impatiens and petunias. Another pepper plant. This is the purple Miroski pepper. And this is my grapefruit. Last year, guys, I got one nice sized grapefruit, and it was so good. And I'm so excited that it's putting on new flowers, and it's also putting on new leaves. So I think this is a very good spot for it. Look at all that new growth coming on there. I'm going to harvest some of this lemongrass and also some of this lemon balm here in the back. And in this container here is a dead yellow knockout rose that I've had for like at least 5 years. And this winter it just didn't make it. So I haven't had time yet to get it out of there and put something else in that pot. But the geranium here also is just bursting in color. On the table, guys, here, these are some beets that I started from seed that I need to transfer to the garden. And here I have some impatiens in that hanging basket and in that one. And I'm always collecting leaves. And these are the leaves that I collected just from sweeping the balcony floor. And here, guys, is my habanero pepper. And it is putting on tons of fruit all over the plant. I just can't wait until you're able to see it a little bit better. But they are everywhere on this plant. I don't think I have seen this many peppers at one time on any of my habanero peppers that I have ever grown. And this particular pepper was overwintered. I just brought it into my bedroom and kept it at the patio door and maybe watered maybe once a week. I didn't keep the soil very moist at all, and it overwintered beautifully. I didn't have to do anything other than cut back the dead leaves or the dead limbs. But other than that, it overwintered beautifully. Another thing that I want to do today is get this ginger planted in the garden. It took forever for it to get to this point, so now I think it's ready to be planted. Here's another beautiful arrangement here of petunias and other flowers here on the table. And of course, I have a hibiscus and more of these bubblegum petunias. I'm seeing some aphids on here. So I'm definitely going to take care of that before it spreads to other things that I have here growing. Over here is a house plant. Let me cut this light off. I had it on last night. Forgot to turn it off. But over here, guys, because I'm always losing my garden utensils, I found this little, it's called a create a dramatic living wall. And you're supposed to be able to plant in it, but I don't think it's very deep. And then also where I have it, I don't want to have to, water it. So what I did is I just used it to put my garden utensils in here so that when I'm on the balcony, I have what I need here. And then over there, I have a little plant in the bird cage. And here's another lemon tree and another pepper and my elephant ear plant and some daisies. And so now that I've shown you everything that I need to harvest, I'm going to go on and get started harvesting, and then from there we'll go to the other garden. Guys, I've been able to get all of the chickens into one chicken coop, and because I'm planning to go out of town, I've purchased this big feeder right here. It's supposed to hold 40 pounds of food. And I tested it out with the girls. I filled it up with food, and it did not last for no more than about 4 days because the girls were just constantly eating nonstop. So I know for a fact that it can hold up to 4 days of food. But also what they tend to do is they'll fly up on top and sit on top of it and put all kinds of poop and stuff on the outside and on top of the feeder. So I've brought it outside of the coop so that I could wash it up and get it cleaned. I think what I'm going to do is turn it upside down, let all of the water drain out and get completely dry before I fill it back up with food. And then Ava and I, we're also cleaning out their water containers. And I'm going to fill this up and give this to them as well so that they'll have on hand while I'm away. But guys, we have all sorts of chickens in here. We've got the Rhode Island Reds. We've got the sapphire olive eggers. We've got these, the white ones, which is a crossbreed. And I forget what they're, uh, how they come to be, but several different types of chickens here. We've got the black leghorns also in here. And all of these girls are laying eggs at this time. We have one rooster, and his name is Bobby. I'm surprised he's not crowing right now, probably because I've thrown some food in here and they are eating. Now, when I did combine all of the chickens into one coop, it was a lot of fighting, but I did all of them at one time. And over time, I see that they're getting a little bit better. They're going to establish pecking order no matter what you do. But what my garden girl is doing right now is she's helping me to water the plants in the hanging basket on both sides of the chicken coop. And I'm going to get their water in there and I'll just put the food back in there just a little later. But these are the girls on the homestead. These are my money makers. They are laying beautifully, and there should be about 32 or 33 of them. They are never still for us to actually count, but if my last count is correct, it's about 32 birds here in the chicken coop. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next task. Guys, I've gone on and planted the rest of the seed potatoes that I had. And as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 4 more containers of potatoes, and I'm going to be moving them to the home garden in just a few minutes. But what I also want to share with you is that over here, guys, this is where I had black plastic. And last year, this is where I tried to grow my cantaloupe and watermelon. And they were doing just fine, but then they started getting the blossom end rot, and I tried to supplement with calcium, but that didn't work. But guys, I'm going to try it one more time. I have really amended the soil, and just want to give it put my best foot forward at trying to grow watermelon and cantaloupe this year. I also have the watermelon and cantaloupe over in the other area over here, and this area is going to be fenced. I don't think I'm going to fence this area right here. But over here is where I have the watermelon and cantaloupe that I planted about a week ago over in this area. This area doesn't get as much sun, which is why I am once again going back over to this area. But as you can see, I've pulled up the black plastic because I don't want the heat from the black plastic to burn the leaves of the plants. But over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the black plastic a little longer, and then once the stems start to extend outside of these containers, then I will remove the black plastic. And of course, guys, I'm going to be spraying today all around the perimeter of this area because as you can see, the weeds have gotten out of hand. Some things are trying to form little trees over in this area. So I'm still working on getting this taken care of. Guys, one of the reasons why I pulled up the black plastic from this area is because I wanted to plant my watermelon and cantaloupe in the ground and compare the ones growing in ground to the ones that are in containers. But everywhere I tried to dig, I was hitting a tree root, and I could not go not even 6 inches because of the tree roots. So I had to go with putting them in containers and then letting them crawl on the ground in this area here. But I would have loved to have planted them in ground just to see how they'll do in ground compared to the containers. But I do have some watermelon and cantaloupe growing in a raised bed, so I'll at least be able to compare the raised bed to the container garden. So the next thing on my agenda now is to go on and plant my ginger, and also to harvest the rest of my mustard greens and plant some green beans in its place. Okay, let's go. We've got more to do. Guys, my phone died, so I wasn't able to show you that I've planted my ginger. I've harvested the mustard greens, but I didn't get a chance to plant the green beans because it's starting to get late. But I have my mustard greens soaking in some water with a little vinegar, and I'm going to just go on and cook these tonight for dinner. But these are the carrots that I harvested the other day. I thought I'd let you see how they came out. Of course, none of them are straight. But what I'm going to do is just chop these up and put them in little Ziploc bags for when I'm making a soup or a stew. I'll have them on hand. And guys, much to my surprise, I was able to harvest some of my zucchini and a few squash. Also, guys, I didn't get around to spraying the weeds and the grass, but when I get back from my trip, I hope to try to get some more things done. But these are the last. No, no, no. I have one more bed of mustard greens that I'll probably harvest from when I get back. But after that, that will be the last of the mustard greens. Because they do not like the hot temperatures. But the collards and the kale, Swiss chard, um, broccoli, all of those are still going strong. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. God bless. Bye bye.